Okay guys, so today I want to talk about a story about when I worked with a construction business for a few months and we were brought on board to help them to get more leads, to get them to get more appointments, and which we did help them with, but ultimately the thing that they struggled with the most was something I didn't expect, and it was around how they see the world and how they see themselves and how they see other people. So in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what happened here, how we can make sure that you don't face this problem. And this is super important because, I'm seeing it now more and more regularly. This is something that's just coming up quite a lot now, and I didn't actually expect this to happen. So if you can actually recognize this and combat this, then you can really help to grow your remodeling business and make sure that you don't face this hurdle at all. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Ben Lister. I work with remodeling, construction, general contractor, interior design businesses, and we help those businesses to crack the code of marketing so that they have an excess of customers available to them. So in the world of psychology, there's something called the spotlight effect, and primarily this is when you think that people are looking at you and paying attention to you more than they actually are. So this is like if you do something embarrassing or if you do something that you think is a little bit awkward or anything like that, you think that more people have seen it, you think that more people have paid attention to that. Now, this is something that I found out that remodeling business owners and construction business owners can struggle with, because you have to put yourself out there. You have to really be the business. You put yourself out there on social media or a lead marketplace, or you produce content or whatever it may be, or in your local community. And this is particularly when you're starting out and when you're growing as a business. And the spotlight effect is just one example of something we call cognitive distortions. And this really distorts the way that we think about ourselves, we think about the world, and it's something that a lot of people experience. Primarily, this happens because we rely on our own perceptions and our own opinions rather than taking in other people's thoughts and thinking about what they actually think. You think about how you would think. The way that this was presented to me when I first researched it was, in a way, we all play a life of small-time psychologists, right? We're always trying to guess and always trying to think about what other people think, how people perceive this, whether this is marketing your business, whether this is a social interaction, whatever it is. You're always trying to gauge how the other person thinks and feels about that. These cognitive distortions can actually mean that we center ourselves too much when we shouldn't really try to do that. And even when we're not trying to do that, we actually put in our own opinions and our own thoughts more than everyone else's. But we know that our thoughts and opinions is just as equal and just as valuable as everyone else's. And really, when it comes to marketing your business or what people think in general, we have to take multiple perspectives. So to be completely transparent with you, this is something that I actually experience sometimes, obviously starting this YouTube channel and putting myself out there for my own business and for my content stuff. All of these things can give me the spotlight effect, as you think that people are watching, you think that people are paying attention, what other people think about this. And in reality, when you think about it, there's not too many people out there are watching. I mean, when I've only just started now, you just get a couple of views here, a couple of views there. In actual fact, because you only are starting out right now, no one is watching, and that's what's helped to really help me to get over this. And like a lot of things, if you critically evaluate the situation, then you know that you have nothing to fear. It's the same with, the fear of public speaking or anything like that. If you actually think about why you're scared about it or why you think that people are watching you doing what you do, then there's not really too many reasons out there. So that helps to make the fear go away. Another great way to overcome this is by understanding what we call the mirror. Now, this is where you often project insecurities or fears or doubts that you have onto the world. This is basically why you feel awkward about doing anything, and it's normally because you would judge a person or you would think a certain way about a person for doing that same action. So the way to actually overcome this is to remove all kind of judgments for different things. So the classic one, for example, is if you were to judge someone for having bad hair or for a stain on their t-shirt or something like that, then you would be conscious if that happened to you. So you would be in a situation where you can't perform as well, or you're gonna let it hinder your day or whatever it may be, because you have these judgments of other people. So really just letting go of those when they're completely natural. Obviously, it's pretty difficult to let go of those. Is really going to help you to actually be able to work in any situation, to not have to overcome these fears. And when they do happen to you, when you do have to put yourself out there, when you do have to create content, when you do have to, advertise in your local community or whatever it may be, then you can do this with ease and you don't have this issue. This might be difficult for a lot of people to really get to grips with and to accept, but knowing this now should help you to free you of those judgments and be able to actually recognize that you do them. And so obviously you can work on these and actually make sure that when you have to do these actions yourself, then you won't have that fear of being judged and you won't have that spotlight effect on you. It's almost like if, for example, you wouldn't have a fear of, going out and walking your dog and think about what people are going to think about you for walking your dog or something like that. And the reason for that is you would not judge someone for doing that. You wouldn't ever think twice about them. But for example, if you were recording yourself, or if you were doing some kind of content or something that puts yourself out there that a lot of remodeling business owners need to do, then if you saw someone doing that, you might subconsciously or consciously judge that person or start to make some kind of assumptions, and this is where it really begins. Another way to overcome this, and something that is pretty brutal and quite honest, is to just realize that everyone else has a million different things going on, and you are probably none of their concern right now. They might think it's a bit strange that you do something or that you don't do something or whatever, but when it comes down to it, everyone has a whole bunch of things going on that they actually got to put their energy towards, rather than caring about what you do or what anyone else does. Just because the work that you're doing is 99% of your life, it's everything you spend almost every waking hour doing it, it doesn't really mean that anyone else is going to pay that much attention to it. Just because it's so important to you doesn't mean it's important to anyone else. I'm sure that they probably feel the same way about the stuff that they're doing, that they're putting themselves out there, or anything that they're doing that makes them uncomfortable. So just having that understanding that no one really thinks about you, no one really, in the nicest way possible, cares about what you do. Only the people that are very close to you actually care, and obviously those are the ones that are less likely to judge you and be the more supportive and more understanding. Better yet, if you do have an experience where someone judges you, or there's a bad experience or anything like that, it is pretty common to know that it does not matter, because their opinion of you, especially if they are not a customer, they're not someone who's potentially going to buy off you or anything like that, they're not related to the business, then their opinion does not matter. You can let them do that, and you can get over that, and you can be content with the fact that they are doing that, as long as you are going and growing your business and focusing on what really matters. And the main reason why we're actually scared of being judged, and why we're scared of someone thinking negative of us, goes back to some seriously prehistoric times where humans used to hunt and work in tribes, and if you had a negative association in your society or in your tribe or whatever it was, that people thought bad about you, that would often mean that you had less chance of eating, less chance of having a mate, and that you'd be sort of cast out of the tribe, you'd be lower down in the hierarchy. But obviously in today's world, that does not happen. The fact that you make content on social media doesn't mean that you're less likely to eat at the end of the day. In fact, it could mean that you're more likely to eat. So this is just sort of like an evolutionary hangover that we have to overcome, just this fear of putting ourselves out there and this fear of being judged. It's something that it doesn't really make rational sense when you think about it, definitely not in 2023. By the way, if you are struggling to get remodeling or construction or interior design jobs, go ahead and click the first link in the description. Don't worry, it's not some crazy expensive course or some free training or anything like that. What it is a video of me describing how me and my company can help you to solve that problem and to get you more leads. For full transparency, it is a sales funnel. It's designed to sell you something. But if you are struggling with that problem, then go ahead and click the first link. If you like this video, if you thought it was valuable, if you thought you can add this to your business, go ahead and click the like button. If you want me to talk about anything specifically in the future, do leave a comment down below. And if you want to watch more than these, then obviously you can subscribe as well. Really appreciate you staying to the end and watching this one all the way to the end. It means the absolute world to me. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next one. Cheers.